Welcome back, our lovely salties. On today's episode, we're trying to keep warm and dodge falling iguanas and threaten our northern neighbors to get their weather out of our yards. Then, on a Saltbox topic this week, it's the NFL. Who's really in charge around here? And of course, we'll wrap up with everyone's favorite, our Beaches Tide Check, to keep you in the know of all of our local events. So grab your favorite drink and get ready to get a little salty with us. Sweater weather, right?
Sweater weather it is what it is. Sweater weather. That's what it is.
Guys, it got real. It's getting real down here. You know, we're gonna need you to take it back.
Yeah. Please stop playing in my backyard.
Yes.
Well, but I did hear an interesting statistic today that today is the start of 6 p.m. sunsets, and it will not set before 6 p.m. again till November.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's
Finally.
amazing.
Let's go. I want to see that. I want to see the projection up.
I feel like that is our season.
Yeah, you're right. Because it's super sad when it gets early God, keep it together, Caitlin. Dark so early.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Act like I've already had a few of these. I promise not yet. But
yes.
Keep listening.
Yeah,
we'll see where it goes.
That's what we're doing here. It's a Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day. Here we are recording, and
okay. That's right. I was going to say there were many businesses closed today, but some of the businesses were not. Were you guys closed today?
Because of sweater weather.
Because of sweater weather. Well, that, you know what? We'll just say
we
it was
did
for
have someone inquire.
Oh,
I said, well,
okay.
You want to respond in a certain capacity of the F we are, but
bitch, it's cold.
What?
Hell no.
That's what you want to say. And we were like, we'll be reopen on Wednesday. So it's sweater weather. Anytime it dips below 60, I mean, we just have to be.
You know what? Maybe they're here from Greenland. They're just here from Greenland. They're here for a good time. They don't know.
That's just it. Is anywhere north of the border, they feel like this is amazing. Whereas we all live in this place where we just can't even believe it. We just can't even believe it.
No.
We can't.
No, it's gotten real. I mean, was it technically in the 30s this morning? My temperature said 40.
Yeah,
I don't know if we got there.
I mean, I don't think it got to I think the other day, maybe yesterday was a little wild here too, because it had the wind effect with it too. So it got really wild yesterday.
Oh my God. Yeah, I felt like we were on Lake Michigan, the amount of wind that was just constant with that front coming in. And then you're right, there was a lot of people that captured some really cool photos of that cold front moving in, and the walls, the shelf wall of that front with the darkened clouds, it did look like original Independence Day mothership, like breaking the ozone layer, coming in. You know, you got Bill Paxton being like Mother of God, like, or was it Jeff Goldblum? I can't remember.
One of them. I think one of them, if not all of them, were doing that.
That's right. Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, because they had nothing else to talk about was that. And then Weatherman Mike made it to the border because he just wanted to see snow, so he took some pictures.
Yeah, I heard some of our panhandle people unfortunately had to deal with some white stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that as well on the internet yesterday. I was like, oh, no one wants that here. Are you kidding me? No one wants that.
No, but nobody needs that. We're not prepared. I mean, not that it would ever get to an accumulation. Well, maybe. I mean, never say never, but at least not here. I would hope not.
Yeah.
But like in the Pensacola, I think about this because going through, unfortunately, the worst weather in northeastern Arkansas winter that they had since '87, the one winter we lived there, they freaked out because they didn't have the road salt. They didn't, like, the pipes weren't insulated in a lot of the housing there. So you had bursts just happening left and right. You know, just toilets freezing, like all kinds of madness.
That's just dangerous.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, does Georgia like have shit we can borrow? Because I wouldn't think that would be in the budget in Pensacola. So
no, it definitely wouldn't be. I mean, it's not good. And but you know, the one thing is you stay in kind of when it happens. There's the one thing about living in Florida versus living everywhere else, I feel like, is that the winters give you a place to pause and like kind of snuggle in, or the spring, kind of rainy season gives you time to kind of settle in and just spend a day. You don't really get that here. And if you are home for the night and it's beautiful out, you feel like you're worthless and that you're being lazy and that you should be getting out there, because that's what we all heard our whole life when we were growing up is get outside, go play outside. Well, beautiful.
And instead of starving kids in China, right, we're being like, there's freezing kids in Buffalo right now. Get your ass outside.
That's true. I actually should use that. I have used that on spring break when we've been on the beach, and I'm like, you guys all just need to look around right now. These people save all year to come visit here and to stay here. And like, we're just like, yeah, we'll go for a couple hours. How many hours do we want to pay the old parking meter? Oh, just a couple. We're good.
Like, there is bored out of their mind children in Illinois at this moment. No,
Exactly. But so I stayed in a lot of the weekend, but my one of my dear friends from high school, who actually just lives over in Vero Beach, it's not like she lives far, but yeah, 4 hours away or so. Her son had
it's enough to have to make a plan.
Exactly. Yeah. Her son had a lacrosse meeting. It was like kind of a tournament for whatever on Saturday. So she came in town, or she came over there. So I met her over there, and we just kind of hung out in the hotel, and then we went and watched her son play, and then we had dinner, and then I left. So I got there, pretty early, and about 2:30, and I didn't leave till well after 9. But you have a friend that you've known for so long, and then they know so much about you, and then when they're your childhood friends, they know your family too and your parents, right?
Yeah, there's a lot to catch up on.
There's a lot to catch up on, and last year kind of kicked our ass with my family, and so she knows just everything. And so when you say something and they're like, oh my god, like, and then just it was all emotions over the weekend. So it was really so many freaking laughs, talking about where people are, laughing, it was just as always people say, like, it was just a good for your soul. Like, it just was good for your soul to kind of regroup. And then
what happened to those chicken soup for the soul, right? Like, what? Remember that? I have not thought, you said that comment, and I have not thought about those books in decades.
That is so true. There used to be like chicken soul
for everyone,
for the soul,
for everyone, like daily for the teenage soul, for the teacher's soul, for the real estate agent's soul. No, I was kidding.
I kind of might need that. So
you know what though? They're probably like vintage now, and they're probably like $125 for a used paperback. You know what I mean? Like,
that's actually interesting. I don't know what happened to those. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I think they ran out of people to cover. I think they ran out of souls.
Maybe they did. They just said, you know what, these kids don't care.
They don't give a shit, right? No, they're like
not, their souls are
each their own.
Yeah, they don't.
They're like,
their souls.
This isn't a safe enough space.
No, it's not.
So
it's
no. But no, I understand. Sorry to go tangent on that, but the way that you said that, I was just like, you're absolutely right, because it's like chicken soup for the soul. And I'm like, whatever happened to that weirdo? I'm sure they were a lovely author. And they were pre-AI. So we know that somebody wrote it, right?
Yeah, and if they had a picture, somebody drew it.
Yes, you're right. There were photos, but I 100% understand what you're talking about when it's somebody with the duration of your life, with as many touchstones of privy that they are your family, how's the kids, watching them grow up, watching that parental adult child role start to migrate the other way, if you will. There's a lot to talk about.
There is.
And you're right. It can be an emotional roller coaster, because you're touching on all these things and you're like, look, we are one of my favorite people, and you're now in front of me, and I've been kind of holding on to this. Yes. And like, I'm going to be totally candid with you and not just give you the, Cliff Notes timeline.
Yes. Not to be, right?
Well, they can read you if you're even trying to hold that.
If I would have said, her name's Stephanie, actually, and I've known her since I was a freshman in high school, so forever. And if I would have said
Of
to her,
course you guys stick together.
yeah,
No, I was kidding.
like, of course we do. But if I would have said to her, yeah, she's,
It's fine. Everything's
everything was
fine.
good last year. Everything was great. She would be like, Steph.
Yeah.
And so it just,
2 questions.
yeah,
1, what medication are you on? And if there was none, then follow-up question, you're a liar.
exactly. Exactly. Because there's no
Yeah.
point us getting together if you're just going to BS me. So, but it's just interesting. And also what's
Oh.
interesting is what they remember about you and your childhood too. When they like, oh my God, like my parents were my mother mostly was insane with Christmas and how much they spoiled us. And I know it's a problem, believe me. And so my mother, and that's what she remembers. And then, like, because that wasn't good enough, everything we got for Christmas, my mother and my sister and I would go to the Gap downtown Chicago on the 26th for all the sales because we had not just gotten the whole store. So now she needed to buy us the rest of the store on that day because it was on sale. So it was just funny her talking about that. So
I think I went that Gap store. Was that on Michigan Avenue or near there? Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
I was in there. I was in
A
there.
couple stories. At one point, it had shoes. Gap did shoes at one point.
Yes. But they were like the 90s, like clogged, like black, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or like
knock off Docs.
Yeah. Like duck shoes or loafers or
Steve Madden, basically. Like, remember those kinds of shoes, right? Yeah.
My husband,
they were basically, I think the Bratz dolls were built off of that vision board of Steve Madden with the platform.
They might have been.
They might have been.
Yeah, that was his vision board.
And you know what's sad is that people only remember Steve Madden now from The Wolf of Wall Street. Wasn't that the guy that was in it that they tried to take his company public?
Okay, so I actually, well, which is funny because I actually love like Hall Pass Leonardo DiCaprio. So yeah. But I actually haven't seen that movie. And the reason I haven't seen it is because Michael took his mother to see Wolf of Wall Street because he didn't know about some of keep blinking. And he was sitting there like exactly. And he could not believe it. And so I because as you know who I am, that made me a little scared to watch it.
No, you have to now. It's been long enough where now you can have a good laugh about it at his expense of what he had to. There's so many parts in the movie that just Rolodex through my head. One of them being Margot Robbie, or whatever her name is.
Yeah, no, that's right. I remember her saying, like, he was like, "We can't be friends." She's like, "We're not gonna be friends." And he's like, "We can't be friends," and she's like, "We're never gonna be friends." I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know where this movie's going." But yeah, so I will watch that movie because now it doesn't make sense that I don't, except for the fact that I already have a crazy memory of it. But anyway.
Which I'm sure Stephanie Dose remembers. Right. No, I was kidding. She's like, remember that time your husband took his mom to Wolf of Wall Street?
Exactly. Exactly.
Now we can all have a good laugh about it. Well, you know what, though? I'm glad that you got to see your girlfriend. Yeah. I had mine in town for my birthday weekend. It's always nice to have those people around. So it's a little, I feel like sometimes it's a little like jumpstart to your system of like, whatever I have going on here, I know big picture wise, I am this and not just this.
And you know what? So, I would also use the word like affirmation that you're doing okay.
Yes.
Like I would say that as well, is that it's like, okay, I'm doing okay. Like I'm winning at this game, or at least surviving at this game of life.
Yeah. Because that person can hear all the dirty laundry that you hide and keep social graces up for everyone else and be like, but you're still fucking killing it. Like you're still standing, like you're still here and you're doing it.
Right.
Like
that's right. So it was good. I like and interesting that morning, I was going to work that day, and then I got finished with work around 1:30, and he was like, you should, before I left that morning, he was like, you should like bring a change of clothes. I'm like, what? No, I'm just going to go see her for a couple hours. He's like, no, you said that her son had a lacrosse game. I know you're going to end up going to it. You're going to end up hanging out afterwards. So I guess shout out to my husband for being right.
You know what? I was just about to say, we got to give the man props. He might not know how to pick movies, but he knows you.
Like,
Or movie audiences in which he shares experience
yeah.
with, but he knows
He,
you.
he
Yeah.
knows what movie he wants to watch, just needs to work on which person he should go with to watch the movie.
Yeah. Well, the problem is he takes his mom to that and he takes you to like 300.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
really?
I mean, really. No, we get to go see Hamnet.
Oh, great. Well, like
Although I can't wait
God,
for that movie to come out again. That movie was so good. I cried my eyes out. It was so good, though. It was such a good cry movie.
okay, well, I'm excited about that one. And then actually speaking of movies and kind of like novels and stuff, have you seen the preview for the Wuthering Heights
Yes.
with Margot Robbie or whatever?
Yeah.
What do we think about that? Where are we going to watch
I'm
that?
gonna
We're going to
watch
watch.
that. I definitely am.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of hers. I think she does a good job, and I think
We couldn't pick a hotter guy for Heathcliff. Ugh. His character. He better win me over when I hear him actually talk in this movie. But I'm just like, it's kind of like you know what? I never even read 50 Shades of Grey, but like I get the gist, and that's who we chose for Christian. Ugh.
Well,
like who's in charge?
Exactly. And to kind of go full circle for a second.
Okay.
So I got the book 50 Shades of Grey because I heard it being like talked about on the radio when I was traveling. There was a point in my life that I was traveling like Monday night through Thursday night for work. And I heard about it while I was traveling on the radio, and they were doing this like, I'm going to tell you a page and you have to start reading it. And I thought it was so funny. So I picked up this book, it's a trilogy, of course, but I didn't know that. I just thought it was one book while Michael and I were on our 10-year anniversary in Key West. And I get finished reading it.
Anniversary?
I had no idea.
Perfect. Sorry, keep going. I have to blow my nose, but please keep talking because I am on the edge of my freaking chair.
Okay, so I bring it. First of all, it ends up being a godsend because Michael decided to go on a fishing trip while I went to go get a massage and like whatever. And he ended up taking Dramamine, so he ended up sleeping for like 18 hours straight. So I get this book, I finish it in maybe 3 seconds, and I'm like, there's no way that there's only one book. So now I'm Googling while I'm in Key West. And so I go to the bookstore and the guy says, I go to grab the second one. And I go, I didn't even know this like had another book behind it. And he's like, go grab the third one. You're going to be back in a day if not. And so I was like, really? And he's like, go grab it. So here,
trust me, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and that probably was located between that bookstore, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was located between two drag
gay bars.
Yeah.
That's because the gays bring everything worth a damn back. Art, bed and breakfasts, freaking record stores. Like they are Anyway, that's another Saltbox topic for another day.
So I grab it, I read it, but this is my full circle. I was like, well, I don't know. I guess I'll just put these books at home. No, I give them to my mother-in-law to read.
After you've read them?
So that is full circle, I guess. Yeah.
And did you guys have a book club to discuss after?
I have to tell you that I actually really loved the story.
Yeah, we liked the story, but I want to know.
We did not discuss anything else except.
Did she?
She said that there were times that it made her blush.
You know what? That is the most polite thing.
And I was like, I can't say that I was super interested in all that stuff. I just really enjoyed the story.
You know what though? I've accidentally found a romance novel in an aunt's bookcase or a grandma's bookcase or something like that. They are dirty. So, it's just kind of like,
yeah.
Do we want the Fabio on the cover or do we just want 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah, this is just a different type of dirty, but they do get dirty.
It's just a different cover. It just doesn't have Fabio with the freaking hair on a horse holding some half-dressed maiden.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, whereas this
And I'm
one is
really
like
glad
ninth
actually
grade,
that we
right? Like they full blown ninth grade. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Oh
But you
god.
hear Dakota Johnson talk about that interview as they made it into the movies. She was like, I had no idea what I was doing.
Is she dating Pedro Pascal?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Damn, their chemistry is
I
just
know. I think it was
freaking on
all about the movie.
fire.
I know. It was all about the movie they were in. So
I never thought I honestly I didn't think she was that pretty. I thought she was pretty and
she's
I thought she
really
was
cute.
natural, which I
Yeah,
appreciated.
she's really
But
cute.
I feel like the older she's getting, the more
I
beautiful she's getting
agree.
to me.
She's just, she just kind of growing into her own skin, and like
Yeah.
she's funny and she's adorable, and I know she dated.
Because that's like in those movies, she literally looked like a college
Yeah, I mean,
dropout to
she
me.
was
And I'm like,
very
it
young.
feels
I
inappropriate.
think she was
Yeah.
really, really young in 50 Shades. But
Oh, like
I mean, and
20
she
something.
dated Chris Martin forever. I mean, forever she dated him. And but yeah,
Really opinion on him, other
I
than he
love
put
him.
up with what's her face, Goop, Mrs.
Yeah,
Goop for a while. So
yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow. Well, I love Coldplay. They put on a fantastic concert.
I've heard
Oh,
that.
it's
I've
amazing.
heard that.
Amazing.
You know, and if you know what, we're totally tangenting, but they were the first one I feel like to name their kid an obtuse name, Apple.
Yes.
Remember? And everyone lost their freaking minds. And then Courtney Cox was like Coco, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh God, it just keeps
And then I
going." And
think
it's
that
like
Michael Jackson was like Prince or something like that, or Paris. Yeah,
Paris is his
yeah,
daughter. Yeah,
yeah.
which shout out to our friend Paris. She's the first real Paris that I've ever
Me
met
too.
in real
Me
life.
too. Yeah, I
So
know.
yeah,
Exactly.
and she got me my lovely sign, so she's a good one. We'll keep her right
I love
there.
it.
So well, I'm glad that you had
It
a
was
good
nice.
weekend. I have nothing to recoup or recap. We did a little spring cleaning at my house. Happy to have it over and done with. And we watched the Bills for a little bit, and I did laundry.
Yeah.
That's it. So we're not even going to dwell on it. But the salt box topic today.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
just
have a
feel
lot.
like we got to have this whole conversation about everything. I mean, there's just no way.
Everything.
We
Everything.
beat around it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We intertwine it a lot in our life, and yeah, we're kind of going a little off rails of kind of real salty, but this thing made us salty.
I'm literally like breaking my nails in my hand right now because I don't even have a dog in the race. First of all, which makes me, I feel like, a totally nonpartisan opinion this year. Okay?
Okay.
I get to comment now, and no one can say anything about, oh, the Chiefs and oh, you guys cheat and it's rigged. Fuck off. First of all, shout out to every team that I did root for this weekend. I am sorry. Every single one of you lost. And I'm starting to think that I might be a witch. And if you have a team that's still left in the running, I just want to put this out here so we can start making a little money. If you have a team that's left in the running, I am now accepting Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, and it will all go towards the podcast. Trust me, we'll do something really cool.
Something really cool.
If you want your team to win, I will root for the other team per your donation. And it will happen, apparently, because...
So you are 0 for 4.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It was so...
So the only way the Bears were going to win is because of the weather.
Right. I was banking on that for you guys.
At the end of... and all of the Bears fans stayed and just give them all the standing ovation at the end. It is only good stuff moving forward. It is so sad because no team ever is the same as the team you're on. It just, things change. Life happens. Things just move on. Money gets in the way. Fame gets in the way, whatever. But the really what ended up to me happening, because I mean, Caleb Williams in that last throw to send it into overtime when he was backwards throwing from the 50-yard line, it was just like, I mean, I was like on my knees, like, oh my God, what did I just... I know this is very, very premature to say, and it is certainly a very big shoes to fill. But I was watching Michael Jordan at the early stages of Michael Jordan being Michael Jordan. And my dad and I would sit there Jordaning. Yeah, I did say Jordaning.
No, you're fine. You said it, and I just thought it was
It's
cute.
funny.
Sorry.
Like we would sit there and we were like, what did he just do? And it's like, it's almost those vibes. And of course it's Chicago, and of course it's all these things. But I think that truly what we ran into is that Matthew Stafford is an incredibly experienced quarterback that has been playing the game for a very long time. And I mean, he's going to win the MVP award this year. And even watching his face, you almost felt bad for him, because as soon as he saw that they didn't get the ball and then the Chicago Bears were going to get the ball, he was just like, he just
don't feel bad for him.
And then,
don't feel bad. I'm going to let you have
as well. Like they're both. So I actually would say that go Rams. That's who I want to win now. I know.
Okay.
We might not be friends.
All right. Here's the thing. Okay. Where do I begin? I wanted Chicago. I'll go back with you to this. I wanted Chicago. We've been talking about it all year on the podcast, ever since it was very obvious that my team was like, thank you for your service. I was like, I'm getting a Bears shirt. I'm learning Spanish. Bad Bunny. Yes, let's go. Like, let's do this, And so I was heartbroken for you guys about that. I really wanted to see you guys go further. The entire time when you talked about
the Seattle, though, we can't beat Seattle.
Oh God. Oh my God. Who can?
Well, I don't know. We'll get only to people I think that
we'll get to Rams. We'll get to them. But the freaking Lambs, okay? Don't even call them by their name. They are the Lambs, okay? Shout out to Jack Beard. The first thing I thought of when I flipped to the screen and I saw the white coming down, I was like, hey, excellent. Because I was like, LA don't know how to play in this shit. I was like, where'd you guys go? Play on a hockey rink for a couple of hours? Ooh. And here's the thing. Act like I really have a vendetta against them. I'm just pissed off because their piece of shit ownership left St. Louis after coming to St. Louis. And how many teams does LA need? Like, get over yourself.
Seriously. I get it.
Matthew Stafford, very fair. Nothing personal. I do not hate you the way that I hate Joe Burrow. But how many people across this nation do you need rooting for you? We get it. You're like the man from Michigan, and then they all love you still, even though mommy and daddy traded you for a different son. Yeah. And so you got Michigan rooting for you still because you're a good guy. Yeah. And now you're there at the Rams showing you never should have got rid of me, Michigan. Look what I can do. So again, he seems like an amazing player and good for them. But no, I'm sorry. Go back to La La Land, and why don't you guys just ring around the rosy about how many stadiums you guys have to share because there's too many of you in there. Really sad about the Bears. And then the Seahawks. Holy shit. Their team is on steroids. Like, I'm sorry. Like, steroids. Are we testing them still? Because that was crazy. They are the number one defense, but like, holy hell.
Just insane.
It looked like they put a Pee-wee League in 49 uniforms and put them up against them. Now, granted, I know the 49ers were riddled with injuries, right? And they didn't have Kittle, and they didn't have a lot of their people, but still, it was like, oh, God.
But they were taking, like, there's a scene that's in one of the Avenger movies where, like, the Hulk takes, like, one of the Loki, this like kind of bad guy, it's Thor's brother, and he takes
that's the one I might like.
And he like
Loki.
Of course, he takes him and he's like, rah, rah, rah. That's like what Seattle did to Brock Purdy.
I'm sorry, I'm getting all fired up, and it is kind of hot in here with the heat on, so I got to put this up. But
it's sweater weather.
It's sweater weather, and this is the hottest sweater I own. Like, it is Sherpa, bitch.
Heated for this topic.
I'm heated for this topic. I before the pre-recording, good people, there was a totally amazing subject that we're going to cover in another episode coming up, and it would make sense. And I was like, that's a good topic. And I'm like, all I want to do,
put it on the shelf. We're doing this today.
I said, is there time to talk about that later? Because I want to rant. Because in my lead up, I said, who's in charge here? Because, well, first, let's finish the team recap, and then I'll get on to my pinstripe plunder. Seattle, Jesus, you guys are beasts. Like, good luck to anybody. The Patriots, I'm coming around to the idea. Only because F the Lambs. The Seahawks, I guess I don't really care. I don't really care if they go or not. I really don't. And then what was the last?
So I would prefer to be Patriots, although in Connecticut we have the same mantra that you have about kind of LA, where Robert Kraft played, was going to Connecticut a couple of times to get what he wanted. And so we have a little bit of that, but you can't, I mean, hat off to Robert Kraft. I mean, he took this dynasty, lost it for a couple of years and rebuilt it. I mean, come on, that the last time they went to
and not was like in Garyana.
That's right. 7 years ago.
So the other one, what was it? Okay, so we got the Lambs, we got the Seahawks,
the Denver Broncos.
Oh, that's right. The one that I actually have blacked out of my mind.
But so how sad is that the quarterback got hurt on the last play?
That was, you know what? That came out in the sportscast like after the fact because he played.
Yeah, so no one knew. And so I'm watching this game with my friend Stephanie on Saturday, and I was like, why did they kick it so quickly? Like they were only on the third down when they went to kick it. Right. And I was like, oh, maybe they were just so afraid of the fumble that they didn't want to risk it.
Or giving them good field position or something. Right.
Like that. And I was like, but then it comes out that he breaks his damn ankle. I mean, I don't wish that on any sports team. That's just not even fair. That guy's thrown.
And not quarterback is thrown
two times. He hasn't even played. That's just not fair.
It's not, and I don't know what kind of joke God's playing this year, but it's a hold my beer kind of thing, because I think he's literally just like, okay.
Exactly. No, that's right. And
obviously he knows best, but I'm just saying, what is going on? What is going on?
Just ridiculous. Just stupid.
Oh my God.
Figure it out.
I almost cried for Josh Allen because we've talked about this, and I was like, I have many a Bills friend. And I would thought, you know what? If we're not in the dance, I hope you dance your heart out. Let's see, God. And you know what? That brings me to the actual topic. Yeah. Well, I know. I know. Well, and that brings me to the actual topic at hand of the referees. Okay. When is enough enough? When are we going to actually admit, like, and no offense, I said this to Stephanie in the pre-recording, no offense to the United Referees Association Union. I'm not trying to take anybody's job. This isn't South Park. They took our jobs. But at this point, I have commercials bombarding me from Amazon telling me about their freaking 360 stuff that can do analytics immediately within 1 second. And they're like improving player safety, and they can give odds and they can give stats immediately. Why the F are we still reliant on, especially within the 2-minute warnings? Make it stop. Make it stop, because the human error level that is costing legit teams games is ridiculous. It's inexcusable at this point. And I think it's still beneficial to have the bodies, because, maybe one day, and maybe they still can at this point, if you hear somebody making a comment or you unsportsmanlike, exactly, something like that, that's going to take the human ear or something like that. But even then, I don't think so. They have microphones in all the freaking helmets now. There's microphones in the turf. They're in the drones. They're in the cameras that go over the field. Shut up. Like, act like this can't be done. And again, I'm not trying to take anybody's job, but it's just like,
I know when it comes
stop
on,
it.
there was definitely a couple of controversial plays.
That
One,
one pass
yeah,
interference call.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, it's true, and I mean, it's definitely gotten better,
It's
but
stupid.
the game just changes so much too that it's impossible to keep up with. But there's just so much that rides on the line of everything now. But there was a couple of really really controversial. I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
that the
There always
broadcasters have
is.
added that, you know, that kind of the rule guy that's always on
Yeah,
standby to make sure that they
they
do
have
it
to.
because they don't know either.
Yeah, but I mean, when it's so obvious with one replay for Tony
Yeah.
Romo and, Jim Smith or Joe Buck or whoever the hell's in there to be like, oh, yep, there it is.
Yes.
And like, what are
Yeah.
we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
And I
what are
couldn't
we
hear when
doing?
I was there, when I was watching the game on, because I know that that was really more the subject of conversation is that the game's on Saturday,
Mm,
and I couldn't hear them because we were pretty much
we're
just watching them and not listening to the analysts. But it was like, I mean, you know, we're subpar in the knowledge that we know, but and even my friend Steph was like, "That's impossible. That had to have been something. It had
right.
crazy."
Yes. So again, I'm sorry I postponed our next topic
It
for the
is
next
so
one,
fun.
but I needed to get this out. I needed to get it out, get my hair up, and get
No,
angry
it's true
because,
though.
and again, can here's the thing. Can you imagine? Like, I know that the Chiefs have been on the receiving end of some really bad calls throughout the years, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, most of them in your favor."
Yeah.
Okay, no, actually, Trent pulled the stats, and there's been more unfavorable calls that were basically human error on the referee side. I forget which software or what website it was. It was the one that you can
Only
like
fan.
bet on anything. Wait, what'd you
Only
say?
fan.
Oh shit! Oh.
You're like, "Hey, that's really reliable. Where do you get all these?"
Wait, can I bet on whether or not he takes his underwear off? Because I'm willing to gamble those things. Like,
He's
no,
like,
I'm just
"Honey,
kidding.
let me go on OnlyFan again because I think I'm gonna be able to find the stats there." You're like, "Can you look on that website?"
This is, you know what? Shout out to my mom because that sounds like something like, well, my her boyfriend be like, "Oh, I'm gonna check the OnlyFan again," and it's like she had to use a travel agent to book an Allegiant flight, so she's gonna buy that shit. I love you, Bambi. Please take that with a grain of salt. I think she's actually listening to full episodes.
Oh,
I love you so much. I still tell that joke to this day that you used a travel agent for a
oh, yeah.
nonstop round trip flight to see me. That will
Well,
never
she
happen
took the
again. I
travel
was a horrible
seriously.
daughter.
How about that? She just took him seriously. She wanted to make sure nothing got screwed up. She didn't want to mess it up. She needed to come see her daughter, and she was like, "This is a trip. I'm using a travel agent."
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah, even though I have the place for her to stay, I'm going to come get her from the airport. There's no, would you like to add a rental card? Nope, that's my daughter.
Yeah,
So,
and not to
doesn't matter.
mention it was a Legion. It's not like it was some
Okay.
fancy.
It's Legion. Right. I'm sorry.
You have
Anyway, love
literally two
you. I love you.
options
I
a
love you. I
week.
love you.
No, this
There's
one or this.
there's only 3 days they fly out, and there's only one flight a day. So
That's like the
yeah,
that's the equivalent of like someone walking into the office and going, "I'd like to list my house," and us saying, "Okay, it's probably going to be for $400,000, and I take 3% commission." They're like, "Perfect. When do we start?" And we're like, "What's the catch?"
no matter what it is,
Yeah,
right?
what's the catch?
Well, and see, there's my follow-up question. What was this woman's commission? Because the flight alone was probably $176 because she also added a bag like both ways and picked her seat, right? And so I'm just like, did she literally make $17.64 off of my mom? Like, trust me, honey, you need this more than I do. I'm not trying to take your job either.
Exactly. That's right.
I, again, I love you dearly, but
And
so anyway,
anyway,
our
yeah,
I'm going to write a strongly worded letter
yeah,
to the National Football
yeah.
League. Step your game up.
You
This is
definitely, I
stupid.
mean, if there's one thing that Kansas City has been accused of is paying off the refs. And the OnlyFans site confirms that that does not happen. But now, as a Kansas City fan, you are seeing how that actually impacts so many other teams, and that's something does need to change. Like the booth review needs to happen a little bit more than what it's happening.
And it can happen like that. Don't let him tell you that it can't.
Exactly.
You're a freaking liar. Like, that's where I'm at.
To pause.
In the AI world that we live in, shut the hell up. There's no excuses. Play like a champion.
ChatGPT and it's not even there, and it would know the answer.
And guess what? Take those little pinstripe people and put them up in the booth with the freaking thing, and let them do it. Then they still keep their job.
That's right. Well, there's nothing wrong with pausing the game. I get momentum. I get all of that. Everyone understands that. Just pause the game to make sure that these calls get. There was a couple that I was
30 seconds to reset. They could do this in 3. Okay, it could be up, down, back in his ear, and done before it gets to 20 seconds on the count.
They do that with baseball all the time. Where they send it to New York, they always say, we're getting in information from New York just to make sure they have.
I can't wait to see the stills of the magic edits from this episode, because literally my face is going to be like it's just going to be like freeze frame hilarity, because it's episodes like this that make me consider Botox.
Right. Well, I get that. I don't even think I need an episode to consider that part. So, all right, what do we got next?
I think we need to let the good people know what's going on, which kudos to you, Carmen Sandiego, because you brought a whole itinerary, and I love it.
That's right. Our beaches tide check. Yes. So.
Oh, wait. I got something for this.
Oh, my God. I'm scared.
Hey, guys, it's time for the beaches tide check.
I need to get myself one of those. So beaches tide check. So what is going on in the next couple of weeks in the story?
What is the 411? What are everyone talking about?
So the one thing we wanted to mention, because I think that this is amazing news, is that we talked about a couple of weeks ago that the Snack Shack, which is located in Madeira Beach, Archibald Park, right there, like kind of at the end of where like the heart of Madeira is, they got ransacked right through the storm. Helene just literally destroyed them. So to quickly recap, FEMA has a 50% rule. In order to put it back together, it cannot exceed 50% of the original form's value. What we also learned from that is that when we say 50% of the original form's value, we don't mean just that it's going to go back to being a white box. A white box meaning nothing else was in it. So it's got to be put back together as a restaurant. So anyone that is doing the math, it's impossible. I'll just tell you this. Stop mathing. It's impossible. It's just impossible. So the only route that the city has figured that will probably have to happen is if they move to a historic district, if they make it a historic site. So that means that it will have to be reproduced almost in the same capacity. We all want that anyway.
That's what we want. And if you would have tuned into 3 episodes ago, Stephanie gave us a history download on the usage of that property since the
crazy usage, amazing usage, amazing history. That is. So a couple of weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago, the city decided, they all voted to move forward with doing a discovery of the current
exploratory. Actually, what are we really dealing with?
So they had to basically pull up the floorboards and see what structurally they were dealing with. And they did that. And so it cost them $30,000. Even though they knew that would cost them $30,000, they knew that's what the people wanted. So as they did that, it has been reported that it was in far better shape than they ever could have imagined. And so they will be able to move forward. The historic building will take close to a year to get it approved, and then at that point they can put everything back together. So we're still looking at some time, but at the very least we can move forward. And I think that that's a big one. And because they know that, one of the things that they've talked about as well as is for this next kind of summer season, spring season, when it's really around the 15th of February, things start to kick off. They have decided they're going to put some food trucks and stuff there too, so that they can
just have to ask, what can we do in the interim? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that that's really exciting. So that was the big thing that we really wanted to make sure we mentioned.
Yes,
About just
that's very exciting. I'm
I think it's
so glad.
fantastic. I think it's fantastic. And then we have at the end of this month, Village Friday starts up January 30th. It kind of tags along with Gasparillo, as that's a huge event in the Tampa area, just very big, and it'll have a band down at the Tiki, and that will be good. So what is it, Mike? I think that's who was doing it. What was the name of that guy that was doing the Tiki? Do you remember the?
Oh, Mikey
Yeah,
O.
yeah,
Are you talking about Mikey O?
Mikey O is going to be. I believe that's who is at the Tiki this time.
At Tipsy
Yeah,
Tiki?
at the Tipsy
Yay!
Tiki,
Okay.
and then we have Lisa Kay in the. I think it's the Gold Tops that's going to be performing on the main stage.
All right.
On the main stage.
All right.
But one of the things that's really exciting, why it's worth a mention beyond the fact that we have this, is that they're rolling out what's called a Lavique map. So very similar to like Find Waldo, but it's going to be called
Yes.
Find Lavique. Now, quick history lesson: John Lavique was the pirate that went through John's Pass, and which is why John's Pass is called a John. Again, it's a pirate,
not a saint.
Not a saint.
Not a saint.
Which is why it like hits my inner core. Is John Lavique was no saint. We're very thankful that he found John's Pass, and that we named it that. But so there's going to be in businesses a little Lavique guy hiding somewhere in their business, and so the little kiddies will be able to get like kind of a treasure map, which is really in the kind of a form of a bingo card, and be able to stamp it that they found it in that business. So that's kind of fun. Right. And of course, because Caitlin and I are who we are, we were like, we think we need an adult version.
Yes. Yes. I was going to say, we could incorporate this into some kind of pub crawl. We're taking suggestions because we also figured out during the business meeting that we attend that they're going to have kind of pub crawl specials for the next few months of these Village Fridays. And OG listeners, you'll be happy to know that for the first few months, it is in fact a final Friday.
It is.
And so it should be very, very easy for your good time Charlie brains to remember and that it will be the last Friday of the month. I'm very excited about this Find Lavique because shout out to our Parks and Rec department for taking the initiative. They were fully admittable in the fact that another tourist destination kind of does something similar. I like that they took the theme from our local area with the pirate, John Lavique. If you would like to go back to some of our previous reels, we also have some fun facts about that and us laughing about the fact of he ain't no saint.
Stop saying it.
He ain't no saint. What's that? Shout out to the local company. He ain't local. Yeah, but apparently, you know, we kept his name. So I think it's amazing. And I think it's going to help bring more people to the pass that are going to spend a little bit of time. And you know what? This has been a conversation in some of these meetings where yes, John's Pass is 100% family friendly, but sometimes kiddos nowadays, they get bored. So let's give them an activity. And I think that it would be amazing to watch the growth of this and perhaps maybe get a mobile app.
I love it.
Perhaps do something where I think that would be great.
I think it would be great. So and they're saying like wear your pirate's outfit. I mean, we tried to make all of the Village Fridays theme based. And this one is about wearing your pirate ship or pirate's outfit because it is during Gasparillo, which is over in Tampa and is one of the biggest parties of the year.
Well, I just said John's Pass was family friendly, but we're talking about pirate theme. And all I can think about is Anchorman, where he's like, you're a dirty pirate hooker.
That is true. That is true. That is true. So
well, you know, I think the bar to be though will be Pirates Pub. So if you do come down dressed in your favorite Pirates gear, make sure to stop by Pirates Pub and take a picture with your fellow mateys. Otherwise, you can catch Stephanie and I dancing
somewhere
in front of the main stage.
Yeah. In the main stage, usually end up down at Tipsy Tiki at some point.
True. That's where the official after party is. Right. Pay attention,
that's
people.
Right. So we got those, and then we've got, as always, the first week in February. It falls on February 7th this next month with the Trash Pirates because of the way that the calendar does. But that's going to meet up and.
Now we have an update about the locations, for Trash Pirates.
So it's at the Bell Tower as usual, and then they're doing it at Caddy's right there
Oh,
Yeah, really at like, I guess it'd be about
beachfront.
142nd or so, 141st, right over there.
So the Caddies on the Gulf is right next to Kitty Stewart
Yeah.
Park. So for the locals, you know where that's at. But Stephanie, you're absolutely right. For the people that have to drop a pin, I think that is
Yeah, it's
approximately
about, yeah,
143rd.
kind of adjacent to
I would say mid Mad Beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of right in the middle, but there's just gonna be a lot going on, starting soon in Madeira Way. So I think that they're
Yeah.
just trying to reposition it for the new year. So that will be amazing. Yeah,
Yay.
so there's some good stuff going on. I mean, we have some more conversations with the town that will be happening the first week of February. So check the website for that as they're
Yeah.
still, they're planning and doing all of their town hall meetings about what to do with that the area that they built on 150th. So that's good.
Speak now or forever hold your peace,
Yeah,
people.
they're at kind of
Talking to
they're
you, keyboard
at the
Karen.
game
Yeah.
planning stages. They're more at the let's figure this out and like what do we really want to do
Talk about it.
stage.
Yeah. Don't say that we didn't give you a chance. There are 2 dates to come, and I hate to
Yeah.
sound passive aggressive with that, but I am just again, even with the referees, no excuses, spoil
Yes,
the champion,
exactly.
like
Do it. Do it.
fool it. Right.
That's right.
Or shut up.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just kidding. Please come and be involved in our
Yeah,
city.
exactly. So those are some interesting, fun facts to know from around the town. So check them out.
I love that. I love that. I was actually talking to one of our fellow coworkers. He's part of the leadership here at Century 21 Baggins, and he manages the South Tampa
Yeah.
office. So shout out to Joe, talking to him today, and he goes, I listen to your girls' podcast, and anytime anybody tells me that, my initial reaction is like, oh my God,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Like somebody just told me, like, I saw your daughter, she's adorable. And I'm like, oh, piece of my heart,
Exactly.
because we birthed this together. Okay. So I'm claiming it. But it was just, and she goes, yeah. And he's like, I love your guys' banter. And he goes, but you guys are pretty beaches heavy. And I was like, and you
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I mean, it's good to know if I ever want to drive over from Tampa night.
Exactly.
So, which I love, but he's like, I know everything that's going on because you girls just keep me up to date. So if I ever want to have a beach house over here, I know exactly where to go and exactly who to talk to and exactly what to do.
And it's mostly, I mean, he's not wrong. It's mostly Madeira Beach, Reddington, Treasure
right.
Island. We veer into IRB. I mean, there's so much that goes on in IRB. I love it. Like, I do.
Well, and then what was that? There was a downtown St. Pete.
Yes.
Remember? What were you mentioning about the pre-recording?
Yeah. So
apparently we're going to buy ourselves a neighborhood.
Which is where the Rays are located.
Yes. So the Tropicana Field will be back. Yeah.
They all want to get this rebuilt to try and save the Rays from going anywhere. I don't know if that's even going to matter. The end of January, I guess, is when there's supposed to be some conversation going on. And over by, well, I will say, like, to finish the Rays conversation, so there is a parcel of land over by the Buck Stadium or Hillsborough Community College, which is all called state colleges now, but Hillsborough, that's right off of the Dale Mayberry, that's where they're looking as one of the main sites for the Rays. But nonetheless, the Gaslight District, the gas plant district over here in they are now taking proposals for an 86-acre area of what they can do to kind of reposition it and redo it. So that's kind of fun too. So if you're interested in bidding for that, get it in now because you
better get it. I was going to say, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
I just feel like we've done this cattle call multiple times and they always tend to go with the same kind of theme, in my opinion, which is concentrated on housing, retail, businesses.
I looked at roughly like some of the plans and I was like, well, they have to. I mean, we're going to start entering this gentrification situation, right? Where we're just pushing people to different areas that they...
You know what? I want something ridiculous like in Abu Dhabi, where it's like a completely enclosed ski resort. You know what I'm talking about? With like one of those crazy ass domes and it's got like a hill that I can ski down. Why can't we get something like that? I'll tell you why. Because apparently, I'll tell you why.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah,
we have environmental regulations and
but the
buildings.
Rays are playing here the next year, and they probably will be for a couple years until everything gets taken care of. But the dome is put back together. It's beautiful on the outside. I mean, what an undertaking. And
yeah, I had to go down to 4th Street a couple weeks ago, and I was like, it's back together, because I had to drive right by there. So that was very exciting to see. Construction is still continuing, and I guess it would be on the edge of that 80+ acre parcel that you're talking about. But I feel like all the way around the perimeter of it, it is business as usual for the condo market, friend, because they are building and moving and grooving.
What were you doing on 4th Street down there?
Okay, first of all, that is where it's a nice area. I was gonna say there's my if you must know, HIPAA, I was getting my laser hair thing done. So yeah, I was just getting my laser hair thing. It's there. It's down there. Okay, maybe it's 2nd Street. You're looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, why is 4th Street where all the killings happen?
It is 2nd Street, because 4th Street is
okay. 2nd Street, my bad,
is okay. Yeah, there's some
that is so
sketch.
Okay, well, apparently, note to self: if you're designing your 80+ acre, the closer you get to 4th Street, just lock it up.
Blondie,
it's horrible. Okay, first of all, again, this is like I must have quoted the wrong street, because I'm like, this is corporate Mecca. Like, this is literally like just guys walking around in suits, and there's a meal prep like Gen Z store next to my thing, and okay, wrong street. Got it.
Lashes and wigs, girl.
See, this is why lashes and wigs. This is why I don't retain things, is because I just plug it into my little Google Maps and we go.
Everything. That's hysterical. You retain so much. I'm like,
yeah, but it's all useless shit.
That might be true, but that's fine.
I'll take useless shit for 500, Alex. All right, guys.
You're doing a great job at this game. Yes, I am, Alex. This game I'm very good at.
Why do it would be the Saturday Night Live, though. It would be like, that's what your mother says. Doing a good job, Caitlin. Sorry. All right.
Like, we're going to get to the Will Ferrell where it's like therapist, and he's like, I'll take the rapist for 100.
That's the best, is those old school ones where it's literally Will Ferrell playing Alex Trebek. You got what's his face? Daryl Hammond plays Sean Connery, and then Norm Macdonald is Burt Reynolds. The best. Like, it is the best. They're still funny. They transcend all generations.
Is right.
If you haven't, watch it. And your homework, ma'am, is to actually watch Wolf of Wall Street, because I know you'll think it's funny.
I'm gonna watch that.
Okay, because it's your chance to see basically the Steve Madden thing I was talking about.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in.
What? I'm watching it for research.
Yeah, this is for research. Don't interrupt me.
Don't be so judgy.
It'll be funny when Michael goes, no, and starts to, he's like, I'm going to go call my mom. You're like, that's weird. No, I was kidding. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We gave you a little bit of extra crazy today. I'm looking at the recording time, so you're welcome. As always, our full episodes can be found on YouTube and Spotify. Please, 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 please make sure to give us a like and a follow on our socials. We are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. TikTok.
Yeah.
Twitter doesn't exist anymore.
No.
So, well, it does. But it does.
We have some reels that we got to get done too, because I had a problem with my computer, so we'll get that going.
Apple struggles, good people. And we do owe you photos from the birthday, and I promise you we will have those coming. It will not be when I turn 41 that we give you the 40 photos. Exactly. All right, guys. Well, as always, thank you for joining. And remember, stay salty and sip often.
Bye.
Bye.